So what I really wanted to talk about today was how, with the Charlie Kirk incident that happened, how you're going to see the internet as we know it change. Because all they really needed was uh, a reason to choke off our free speech. And the reason I can say that is we have about 100 problems in Canada specifically. And our opposition leader went on to talk about the Charlie Kirk incident. That doesn't even affect us. And the reason that it doesn't affect us, it doesn't affect anybody actually, because 18,355 people were killed in the United States. And Charlie Kirk was the 18,355th person. And yet nobody else was talked about. Nobody else was celebrated. Nobody else went on Air Force Two. And their casket wasn't moved by J.D. Vance. And nobody else was announced by the president himself. The first person to announce Charlie Kirk's passing was Donald Trump. And you can look it up for yourself. And here's the slide. But what I want you to understand is they're not talking about the stuff that they should be talking about, yet they're talking about stuff that's totally irrelevant. You know, I would love my opposition leader to talk about what the economy in Canada is like, what the unemployment is like, how student well-being and mental health is. But we don't get talked about that. And so I want you to understand that they're shifting our information to what they deem important. And what was important at one point was the news agencies were very integral. They were authentic. They were actually reporting what was going on. But today what we get is we get this cycle, what they want us to know, not what we need to know. And I want people to understand that by doing that, they're going to shorten the focal length of what they deem important. And what I want to mention in this is I have a feeling that in the next 2, 3, 5 years, they're going to limit our access to the internet. Because remember when the internet first was around and I was old enough to go through the growing pains of the internet, and the internet at one point was a place where you could share who you were. You could find out what you were interested in. You could explore and understand and communicate with people that you normally wouldn't. However, today that whole perspective has changed. And what we're doing now is we're just being served things. And served by whom is the question. Because that is a really interesting thing about who is giving you the information. And when you have Charlie Kirk's passing and the President of the United States is the first one to announce his passing, not the coroner, not a doctor, but a game show host playing president. And you have to really understand the game now, and that the information that they want you to have is not the information that you need. And this is where my talk starts today, is that you have to have your own tribe. You have to start building people around you that will serve you in moving forward with health, with fitness, with mental wellness, with nutrition, with things that you need fixed. You need to become friends with farmers, mechanics, dentists before the internet's gone. Because I can assure you that none of the people that are watching this right now memorize 10 phone numbers. You probably don't know what your girlfriend's phone number is or your wife's phone number is simply because it's already in your phone. And once they lock you out of that, they are essentially taking away your tribe. So what I want you to be really cognizant of, what I want you to really understand, is I'm not making this video to frighten you or scare you. What I'm making this video for is to prepare you for what's about to come. And I'll give you a brief glimpse of the evolution of the phone, just so I can solidify my point. There was a moment in time when cell phones were out, where you could take your battery right out of your phone. And by taking your battery out of your phone, you could, in essence, disappear. Your EMI signal or your 5G signal could be completely eliminated. But our phones today have an integral battery, which means you can't even service them. You can't take them out. You can never shut your phone off. They know where you are at all points. And because they know where you are, they know who you are associated with. And this is a really important thing, because I'm sure that the people that you associate with are not the people who are going to serve you in times of crisis. And I'll repeat what I said. You need to build your own tribe. And by building your tribe, that means that you know a farmer where you can get your protein. You know a mechanic that can fix your car. You know a doctor that can serve you to make sure that your health is optimal. Because what's about to come, what we're about to embark on, if they shut down the internet, is you're going to be isolated. And not only are you going to be isolated, you're going to be in fear, because that's all they're pumping right now in the news cycle. It's all fear. They're not telling you how to navigate this. They're not showing you how to navigate this. With all of this technology, with all of this apparatus, we still can't get it together. We still can't find the truth in it. This morning I was on ChatGPT and I asked, who was the person who announced Charlie Kirk's passing? And here's the slide. And it said former President Donald Trump. So ChatGPT, the person or the AI that I use for my research at times, has it wrong. Because in the reality that I live in, Donald Trump is the president. And he is the person who is running the show. But yet the AI that we're supposed to rely on for our information, because the AI is not going to help you survive. Your tribe is going to help you survive. And by tribe, I mean actual people. They're never going to take that away. And for some reason, they are spending so much dollars, millions and billions of dollars, trying to convince us that machines are going to be more effective than the human. And I'm here to tell you, as a person who lives in the country, I like to call myself a person who lives in the wilderness, because nobody's coming to save me here. It's my wife, myself, and a couple of 1,000 rounds of ammo. That's the only thing that we have to protect us from the outside world. However, what I'm trying to say to you is that the AI is not coming to save you. When it gets wrong who the president of the United States is, how can you trust this machine for it to take care of your well-being? I really want you to just think about what we talked about this morning and how you are taking steps into building your own tribe and becoming powerful in that way, because money's not going to save you. Nothing is going to save you other than the people that you know. One thing that I'm going to leave you with, there's a proverb that I learned when I was a very young man, and it's not who you know, it's how do you know them. That's going to save you. Everybody knows everybody. 6 degrees of separation, everybody's related. But the fact, or somebody knows of somebody. But the fact of the matter is how do you know that person? Do you play golf with them? Do your kids play together? Do you go to dance lessons with them? That is the important part. That's your tribe. And some people look at it as, oh, I'm talking about tribes of Africa. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the tribes in North America. I want you to spend your time, not a lot of time, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of your day, thinking about how are you going to build your tribe that's going to be effective, that's going to be responsive. And those are the people that you need to surround yourself with. Forget about the Kardashians. Forget about the Charlie Kirks. Because right now, the United States, Canada, and abroad, we're on the precipice of a civil war. And if you don't believe this, look at how much things have changed in such a small time. The only thing that changes society so quickly is war. That's it. Universities move very slowly. Government moves even slower. But war changes everything. Just to finish those talks for today, the United States just changed their Defense Department to the Department of War. So if you don't think that what I'm saying to you is factual, actual, and realistic, I'd suggest to do your own research. I've done mine, and this is why I'm sharing it with you. But what I really want you to do is start really gathering your own intel, and building your own tribe. There you have it.